Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. We are setting up my bullet journal for March today and I'm doing a matcha theme. I feel like this setup is a little more drawing heavy than my usual setups. I definitely had a lot more footage to go through, but I hope you enjoy the video nonetheless. We're first making the cover page and I'm drawing the matcha bamboo whisk. I put down a layer of this beige brown color and then adding details and texture with a Pigma Micron. And in some shots here you might see my hair getting into the frame, and that is just me trying to find a comfortable position to draw in. If you've ever tried filming yourself drawing before, you might understand that sometimes it's a bit of a struggle to find the right camera angle where you get a clear shot of what you're doing while also trying to bend around the tripod to actually do the drawing. Then I moved on to drawing the bowl behind the whisk, and for this setup I heavily contemplated using watercolor or gouache, but I ended up just using markers. And I don't have the most extensive collection of markers, but I tried to use what I had and tried to make it work. I wanted the color of this bowl to be a slightly bit more gray, but I think overall the colors came out fine. The reason I went with markers instead of watercolor is so that when I go to set up my weekly spreads, I can just use the same markers and my spreads will turn out consistent throughout the month. I know full well that if I use gouache or watercolor, I will not bother taking out the same paints to set up my weekly spreads, and I want my spreads to look like they belong together, so that's why I use markers even though I have limited colors to choose from. Next to the bowl of matcha, I am drawing a soft cream parfait. This time I used a brown vintage Sarasa clip to do the outlines because I wanted a softer look for the container. Throughout this setup, I used Crayola super tips, Mildliners, and Tombow dual brush pens for the different colors, and a Pigma Micron and this Sarasa clip for the outlines. And as always, I'll leave the color codes for the Tombows in the descriptions as well as the names of all the stationery I use, in case you want to use the same colors and things as I did. I also used the white gel pen a lot to add some highlights and details to an otherwise very flat looking surface. It just adds more depth and instantly brings life into your drawing. Next, I drew this matcha bubble drink. I actually had so much fun outlining this plastic lid. I was kind of scared at first. Drawing anything transparent is kind of scary, but I think it turned out looking quite nice. This cover page is probably the part that took the longest in this setup, and you might be wondering why I would spend so much time on a cover page if it doesn't serve any purpose for planning. But for me, the cover page is just there to look pretty, and that is its purpose. It separates the last month from the next, and making a cover page just makes me happy. As I get older and now that I'm working, I don't draw anywhere near as much as I used to, so it's a nice excuse for me to have some fun drawing and exercise my drawing muscles. I struggled quite a bit making the whipped cream on top of the drink. I didn't know how to get that creamy off-white color of whipped cream, so I ended up blending out the beige Tombow with the white gel pen, and it kind of worked, but I did have little moments like these throughout the setup where I wish I had gone with watercolor instead. The reason I've gone with a matcha theme for March is because it is coming into spring and everyone, everything, every store, every cafe is coming out with a new matcha something menu, and everywhere I look it's just matcha, 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 and I'm not complaining because I love matcha. It's my go-to drink if I'm at a cafe and I've already had my coffee, so I am very excited to try all the new menus coming out. Starbucks just came out with this matcha strawberry cherry blossom mochi concoction, and I haven't tried it yet, but I've been seeing it on my friends' stories and I'm so intrigued. In the empty space between the drawings, I'm filling it with some matcha leaves. At the bottom of the page, I am writing March in cursive with a green Tombow dual brush pen. I find months with less letters in their names like March, April, and May, they're more enjoyable to letter and incorporate into a design for some reason, maybe because they're shorter and more compact. And that is our March cover page done. Let's move on to the monthly calendar. I am first drawing the calendar grid. March is quite an awkward month, and by that I mean the 31st of March is on a Monday, which on the calendar is on its own separate line. I've always despised months that starts on a Sunday or ends on a Monday, because the calendar just looks so long and weird. Each box here is 4x4 grid spaces, and I have Monday to Friday on the left page and Saturday and Sunday on the right. I love the size of this notebook so much. This is Notebook Therapy's original size notebook, and I always have this exact design linked in the description. Their original size is slightly smaller than A5, so it's really compact but still has enough space so that your layouts do not feel cramped. Then at the top, I made a row that is 2 grid spaces tall, and I'm coloring it green, which will be where I will write in the days of the week. Then I am writing in all the dates, and you might have noticed that I left a blank rectangle at the top of the calendar here but didn't leave any blank space at the bottom, and that is just my mistake. I initially wanted to leave the space at the bottom blank as well, but I totally forgot to do it. But oh well, I didn't bother fixing it because I thought that it might look weird with streaks of white gel pen, so I just left it as it is. To the right of the calendar, I am drawing more matcha snacks. I am first drawing this matcha roll cake, which this was another moment that I regret not going with watercolor, because then I can mix the exact color that I wanted and the dollop of cream on top might look better, but I think it didn't turn out that bad in the end. Next to that, I am drawing a taiyaki with matcha soft cream inside, and this was so fun to make. And my dog is just coming in to say hi. If you've seen my previous setup video, you might know that I recently got a border collie puppy, and he was definitely very curious as to what I was doing here sitting on the floor staring at this yellow notebook. I've actually never had taiyaki with soft cream before. I've just had the normal red bean or custard filling, but I think a warm taiyaki crust with cold soft cream will definitely go well together. Let me know in the comments if you've had one. Then I wrote March in cursive again at the top, and then I don't know why, but I've decided to put pink pocky sticking out from the top of the soft cream. But when I see these soft cream taiyakis, they always have something sticking out from the top, and most of the time it's pocky, so I guess I wanted mine to have pockies too. And that is my calendar for March. Next, let's set up the habit tracker. Let's first draw the boxes for the habits. I always draw 5 boxes for some reason. Some months I might not end up using all the boxes, or some months I might use all of them, but I feel like 5 is a nice number of things. It is not too much to the point where I get overwhelmed by the numbers of things I'm tracking. In the space that is left here, I am drawing more soft cream, but this time with an actual ice cream cone, and to get the pattern on the cone, I made little squares all over the cone. This is actually going to be like a 2-tone flavor, so I'm only putting green on the one half of the soft cream and will be coloring the other side pink. Then I used the white gel pen again to add more dimension to the cone and also separate the area where the cone overlaps. Then I also added a piece of butter cookie to the top of the soft cream. And then I am writing in all the numbers in each calendar, and for these mini calendars I usually use a 0.05 Pigma Micron, and I think I've used this fine liner so much that I've worn out the nib of my current one. I've been wanting to get another one for a while now, but I haven't had the chance to go to a stationery store yet. Then I use my letter stamps to stamp out the title, and I'm actually naming this page Daily Wins instead of Habit Tracker because it's a little nicer and more motivating, I guess. Each thing is like a tiny win in my day. Let's now flip through all the spreads we made today. I am so happy I did a matcha theme for March, and I'm so looking forward to try out all the new drinks coming out. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. My vlogging channel is linked down below if you're interested. Have a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Bye!